Hey, good day, everybody. I just wanted to pop in really quick and talk to you. Mostly, I'm talking to parents in this one, but this is something certainly that teachers should be aware of as well. I've been seeing some requests come through my inbox about students who were homeschooled during COVID or who have been homeschooled. And now the families are sending them back to schools in person and they're demanding, and those are the words that some parents have used is I'm demanding that my child start school with an IEP. Some parents have said, we even have the neuropsych eval. And I need you to understand, and like I said, this is mostly for parents, but teachers and admins as well. Schools are under no obligation to automatically grant somebody an IEP. Schools legally have to do, public schools legally have to do evaluations in order to determine if a child truly needs specially designed instruction. And while I understand that in homeschool settings, those might have been determined by maybe a neuropsych evaluation that a child needs a particular way or a particular style. However, a public school does not have to take anything from a homeschool environment as the same justification. So the law states that any outside sources from the school system, the school is required to consider. They do not have to take and implement. So if this is you, if you are a parent who is saying, my child was homeschooled during COVID and they did not have an IEP prior to COVID, the school is doing what they are legally required to do. They may want to do more for your child. However, they cannot and still be within legal guidelines. If your child, however, had an IEP prior to you homeschooling, and especially if you were homeschooling because of COVID, then that's a different story. IEPs do not expire. Once a child is eligible for special education within the public school system in the United States, that child remains eligible until such time as the child ages out of education. And that's different in different states. For most states, that's the day before the 22nd birthday. But again, check your state regs because different states are slightly different with that. Some are a little bit longer and some are a little bit less. So make sure that you are aware of what your specific state says. And if you need guidance on that, I can certainly message me and I can help you figure it out or tell you where to look. Mostly it's just looking at your state Board of Education guidelines for that, or just Googling age of aging out of an IEP and your state name. The other thing that a child can have that would get them out of special education eligibility is a final evaluation series, and then the team, which includes the parents, deciding that the child is no longer eligible for special education. And then the child sort of graduates, and I put that in quotes because they may not be like, it's not like your typical graduation from high school. So they get to leave special education for whatever all the reasons are that have been determined by the team and with a final evaluation. So I can hear some of you saying, whether you're in schools or whether you're parents, but the IEP that my student had, it's 3 years old. It's not valid anymore. Well, the information in it absolutely is probably not valid anymore, and you will likely want to do either more evaluations so that they're current, or you want to definitely write a comparable IEP until such time as you can determine where the student is from where they had been when their prior IEP was written. So the law states that, and I am not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV, but I do understand the law, and I do direct to the special education law, because without it, we wouldn't have special education. So it is the IDEA law. And what it says is that at least annually, IEPs need to be reviewed and maybe revised or rewritten. But it doesn't say that once a year has passed that the IEP or that the student is ineligible. So make sure, whether you're a parent, teacher, admin, or therapist, that you understand the differences. IEPs do not expire. So a couple things, I'm just going to reiterate what I said. If your child has been homeschooled prior to COVID, they did not have an IEP, you cannot go in and demand that the school start your child with an IEP. They are legally responsible to follow certain steps. If your child did have an IEP prior to COVID and you homeschooled during COVID, then the school should be implementing the IEP that was in place prior to you taking them out and homeschooling them until such time as they can do their own evaluations. Now, are the services going to be correct? No, because depending on how long you've had your child in homeschool settings, that information could be anywhere from 1 to 3 years old, and your child has developed, and things are different. But as far as the fact that they're getting special education services or they're entitled to related services, whatever those are, those sorts of things are still supposed to be in place. Again, IEPs do not expire. If you have any questions, reach out to me or leave them below. Thanks. Have a good day.